It's very similar, I think, in principle to inhaling deeply on a cigarette. In goes something that shouldn't be there and it can cause damage. Vaping is the use of newer inhalational nicotine devices which, for the most part, generate a nicotine aerosol by heating liquid that's inside them so that you can put it to your mouth, breathe in and inhale a nicotine aerosol with lots of other chemicals in it. Many of the vapes are made by companies that don't either fully tell us what's in them or actually don't know themselves. So there's lots of different substances, various phenol compounds, for example, a great range. And one of the things that's quite striking about many vapes that have been studied is that there are surprise compounds in them. Some excellent work has been done in Western Australia by some of our colleagues, and they've shown that on chemical analysis a range of compounds can be detected, and not all of those are disclosed by the manufacturers. If there are labels, or on the labels, so it's a little bit of a mystery as to what people are breathing in when they're using a vape. If this was 1923 and we were talking about cigarettes and you asked me that question, I would say, well, it's early days. We don't really have long-term information, but many people smoke them and they seem to be fine. It's 2023. It's early days. Many people use them and they seem to be fine. However, what we do know is that there have been accidents. There was a nasty outbreak of severe respiratory disease in 2019 where young people using vapes, which turned out to be contaminated and contain a substance called vitamin E acetate, developed nasty lung disease. Some of these young people died and many became very ill. Now, not all vapes have that in them, and most vapes don't cause acute severe respiratory illness. But we do know that they are associated with airway inflammation. We do know that people can have toxic reactions to them. We do know that they have extraordinary, or can have extraordinary high levels of nicotine in them, so they're very addictive. We also know from some very comprehensive systematic review work done here in Australia that people who use e-cigarettes, even if they've never smoked cigarettes before, appear likely to go on to smoke cigarettes through the nicotine addiction. We know that traditional combustible cigarettes cause heart disease, vascular disease, strokes, many kinds of cancer, lung cancer, all sorts of problems. That was only starting to be discovered in 1950. That was 50 years after they really started being made and sold in high numbers. And it took another 70 years for us to really push down on smoking levels to where we are today. To answer the question about e-cigarettes, do we know? We don't know. And it might take us another 100 years to find that out. So we can kind of walk into a likely problem and let it hit us, or we can plan ahead. There's still people who work in tobacco cessation in Australia and many places around the world who remain supportive of vapes. And I'm not casting judgment on people who genuinely want to help patients stop smoking. Not at all. I wish e-cigarettes were good, and I wish they worked, and I wish they were safe. They're just not, and I don't think they're good enough. And the second thing is what's going on in terms of their regulation in Australia. We have a really tricky setup at the moment where they are illegal unless doctors prescribe them. And as a doctor, what we're really being asked to prescribe is something that's not fully properly evaluated and that hasn't passed the kind of assessment that we'd expect of a medication, and it's difficult to therefore prescribe them. So they're very ineffective for smoking cessation in Australia at the moment.